page 232 of chapter 9, where we will continue our focus on soul and its emancipation. Please open page 232. First, I will go through two slokas from Kathopadishad that talk about moksha, or emancipation. Yada sarve pramutyante kama yesya hridishritaha athamartyomrito bhavat yatra brahma samashnute. Desires associated with sense organs and mind remain entrenched in the inner space and hold it captive. When all these holds of desires are released and the inner space is set free, mortal beings taste the nectar of immortality. They experience the proximity to Brahman. Parajaha kamananuyanti balas te mrityayanti vitatasya pasham athadhira amritatvam viditva dhruvamadhruveshvihana prarthayante. Immature people pursue desires associated with the external world. When the sensibilities are directed outwards, the objects of desire lie outside in the external world. These worldly desires are conditional. They only have a fleeting existence as dictated by the passage of time. So people who develop a craving for these objects will also become subject of the passage of time. They get entangled in the rope spread out by death. They are unable to appreciate the concept of mortality. On the other hand, intelligent people who choose to live by the dictates of their own intellect understand the true purpose of immortality. They understand that immortality is to be sought by transcending the time domain and not by prolonging the life here. They recognize that the objects of the external world owe their existence to their context, and that they are not permanent. They realize that hankering for these trinkets will take one away from the pursuit of immortality. They do not crave for the external objects. Now the questions from Satyartha Prakash. Soul's living place in emancipation. During emancipation, the now pure, well-gifted with perfect knowledge soul lives anywhere in God in a perfect condition. The emancipated soul shows freely in God, knowledge and bliss. There is nothing to thwart its movements. How does the soul enjoy the bliss? In emancipation, corporeal body and corporeal sense organs do not remain with the soul, but its natural and pure attributes, activities, and powers remain intact. In emancipation, the soul, through its own natural powers, has the principle of hearing when it wants to hear, the principle of touch when it wants to feel, the principle of speaking when it wants to say something, the principle of taste when it wants to taste, the principle of smell when it wants to smell, the principle of thought for thinking, the principle of judgment for ascertaining truth, and the principle of memory for remembering, and the principle of individuality for feeling its individuality. It can do all this at its own will. Just as when the soul is embodied, it depends on its physical body and organs to carry out its will, so does it enjoy the bliss of emancipation with its innate power. Qualities of soul. As quality of the soul, it mainly has one power, but after analysis, it may be said to consist of 24 varieties as follows. Thank you.